If you only watched Imeet's Resonator showcase once and thought, oh, that was cute, you probably missed the point. This trailer is not trying to sell you combat. It is trying to tell you who Imeet is before she ever enters your team. And the way it does that is surprisingly deliberate. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyo lahat? This showcase opens like a formal announcement, a graduation ceremony, an auditorium, a performance requirement. On paper, it feels mundane, almost institutional, but very quickly you realize something is off. Imeet is present, but not present. She is listening to conversations that are not really meant for her. She is responding to people who cannot hear her. She is pretending to be part of a shared space that no longer fully includes her. That detail alone tells you more about her than any stat preview ever could. Hey, Imeet is coming in a few days. Not only are you going to need to pull her, but you also need her weapon, and maybe either Lupa or Chisa. That's a lot, considering that there aren't a lot of asteroids available. If you need some help with farming asteroids, check out my loot bar link down in the description and pinned comment for cheaper than in-game top-ups. Loot Bar offers up to 25% discounts, plus an extra 10% off when you use my link. It is widely used by WoWA players, has strong Trustpilot ratings, and supports DIY top-ups on your PC or mobile, where you get the discounts without sharing your password. Just log into Loot Bar, purchase, and then you go to their online DIY top-up page to complete the transaction yourself without giving anyone your password to do it. If you are looking to top up and save big, Loot Bar is a straightforward and secure way while supporting the channel. So, let's get back to it. Throughout the early moments, Imeet drifts between snippets of dialogue, academic pressure, exhaustion, and small talk that goes nowhere. Tests, results, preparation, expectations. These are the normal stressors of student life, but framed through someone who is fundamentally isolated. She clings to routine, because routine is the last thing anchoring her sense of normalcy. When you have been alone long enough, even pretending to belong becomes a survival mechanism. Then there's the environment itself. She interacts with objects. Food appears, weather is mentioned, time passes, but none of it feels physical in the traditional sense. Everything around her feels like a constructed space, a digital approximation of reality, rather than reality itself. The trailer never directly explains this, but it does not need to. The absence of her shadow is not a coincidence. It is a visual reminder that Imeet exists slightly out of phase with the world. And this is where the trailer quietly shifts tone. The graduation performance is introduced, and instead of a speech or a test, it becomes a song. Not a background track, not an insert, a full musical performance. This is bold, and it is intentional. Music is memory. Music is identity. Music is something you create to leave a trace of yourself behind. For someone whose existence has been digitized, whose physical presence has been reduced or lost, a song becomes proof that she was here. As the performance begins, the trailer leans heavily into symbolism. The seals, not birds, matter. They move like flowing data, like packets of information swimming through a network. Imeet does not just live inside a digital space, she understands it intuitively. She moves through it effortlessly. When the system glitch happens, it is not framed as a failure, it is framed as an extension of her. She does not panic, she dives in. This is where the idea of technopathy becomes unavoidable. Imeet does not simply use technology, she inhabits it. The glitch is not an obstacle, but an invitation. She disappears into the system the same way others might step into water. And that moment recontextualizes everything that came before it. The loneliness, the pretend conversations, the quiet routines. This is not just a girl trapped in a system. This is someone who has learned to survive by merging with it. The song itself reinforces that reading. It feels personal, almost confessional. Whether you listen to the English or Japanese version, the emotional delivery stays consistent. The language changes, but the intent does not. This is Imeet's voice. even if the singer is not literally her voice actor. It is her emotional fingerprint. The fact that the graduation itself is completed through the song matters. She graduates not by passing tests, but by expressing who she is. When the performance ends and the cheering starts, there's a strange sense of relief, not triumph, relief, as if something long overdue has finally been acknowledged. The graduation is not just academic, it is existential. She has proven that she still exists in a way that matters. This showcase highlights how much care went into the animation. Background characters have subtle eye movement. Small reactions ripple through the crowd. These are details most people will never consciously notice, but they add weight. They make the moment feel witnessed, even if Imeet herself exists on the edge of visibility. This is why the trailer avoids combat entirely. Kuro did not want your first impression of Imeet to be damage numbers or flashy skills. They wanted you to understand her emotional premise first. A character defined by isolation, adaptation, and self-expression makes her eventual gameplay identity feel earned rather than arbitrary. It also reframes expectations for version 3.1 as a whole. Imeet is not positioned as a loud centerpiece meant to dominate the meta conversation on day one. She is positioned as a narrative anchor, someone whose story adds texture to the world rather than overpowering it. That makes her introduction feel intimate instead of bombastic. If you are more action-focused, this trailer might not have landed immediately. That is fine. It is not designed to hype you up. It is designed to sit with you, to make you curious, to make you ask questions about where she has been, how she survived, and what it means for someone to live half inside a system. And that curiosity is the real success of the showcase. There is also a bigger industry context here that is impossible to ignore. Recently, Kuro Games' parent company Tencent disclosed in its annual report that Wuthering Waves generated over $500 million in 2025, officially classifying it as one of Tencent's evergreen titles. That matters, not as a flex, but as an explanation. When a game crosses that threshold, it fundamentally changes what the developers are able and willing to invest in. By the end, you are not asking what her kit does, you're asking what happens next. That financial reality helps contextualize why Imeet's showcase feels so different compared to early launch-era trailers. The jump in production value is not subtle. The animation fidelity, the facial micro-expressions, the willingness to dedicate an entire Resonator reveal to a fully realized musical short all point to a studio that now has both confidence and resources. This is what an evergreen title looks like when its success is reinvested back into presentation and narrative ambition. What does it mean when someone who can dive into electronics steps back into the world? What happens when isolation ends? And can it ever truly end? That is why Imeet's Resonator showcase works. It trusts the audience to read between the lines. It trusts subtlety. It trusts that emotion can sell a character just as effectively as spectacle. Version 3.1 is right around the corner, and this trailer feels like a quiet promise rather than a loud announcement. Compared to the game's launch period, where showcases were more functional and gameplay forward out of necessity, Imeet's reveal represents a clear evolution. Storytelling has climbed dramatically. Kuro is no longer just introducing characters, they are staging experiences. The resources are there now to let mood, symbolism, and theme lead, instead of rushing straight to mechanics. Imeet is coming, not to shake the game apart, but to add a voice that was missing. And sometimes that is far more impactful. As always, if this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe. Ring that bell for massive gacha luck and maybe a sandwich. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye.